Hi, everybody. It's Dispeller. So this morning I woke up and I was pondering, why do I feel like so overwhelmed with my life? What on earth has happened in my life that has made me just basically exhausted in general? And I immediately went to prayer, which is what I usually do when I don't have answers for things or when I just need to accept things as they are. And I got some answers, and I wanted to share a little bit with you what God showed me, Yahweh, as I call him, or Father, about my life. Hi, Spoof. Since basically we're going to start around October, being that the first thing that happened in my life was the Toby Mac concert. So hold on a second. I'm trying to get my Facebook to open up because that's where I posted the original thing that I'm about to talk about. We're talking about me today. Me. That way we avoid talking about anybody else and I don't get accused of that. No, sometimes we talk about other people, but right now, this is about me and what I'm feeling right now. And I don't have a lot of time. What time do we gotta go?
We gotta be about 10:40 for target by 10:45.
10:45. Okay, we got plenty of time. As long as I don't get long-winded here. Now, right now, I'm wondering why my Facebook is not opening. It's kind of frustrating me. I don't want to open it on here because then I have trouble. I have to switch back and forth, and it's a big pain in the patootie. Okay, there we go. Finally opened up. All right, so this is just kind of a random rambling like I do sometimes that I wanted to share with you. Let me open this up. Okay, so we're going to start in October. It's around October 2nd. I'm not going to give you the dates of everything because I don't remember the exact dates of everything, but I may throw in like months of what has gone on in my life since October. And we are in, let's see, March. So in the last 5 months, these are kind of the things that have been going on in my life. So first of all, the Toby Mac concert was awesome. I'm never going to take away from that. I would totally go see him again. I thought it was very well done. The lighting was incredible. The special effects were out of this world. I don't do concerts very often. I don't attend them, I should say. So it was a treat to be able to attend this one. And if y'all know about concerts, they're very expensive. At work, one of the ladies was talking about going to an Elton John concert around here, I guess, recently. And the tickets were like $600 a person or something. These were not that expensive. I think they were like a couple hundred or something, maybe. And I bought them for Matthew and I, like way back when I first heard about them. And then because of COVID hitting, they kept postponing the concert. Well, finally, the day happened. Okay, we're doing the concert. Are you guys going? Yes, we're going, amongst the family because my daughters were there too. So we went, and that was great. So the next main thing, because that was like, that was a huge thing. Now, I want to tell you guys something, which you probably know already, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Stress comes in many forms. It can be something really negative, like somebody dying. It can be losing your job. It can be losing a loved one. It can be a natural disaster, as they call them, like an earthquake, a flood, whatever. That's all stressful. But stressors can also be positive things. And as I read you this list and share a little bit about what I've been through, you'll kind of understand why I felt like really overwhelmed lately, because I didn't even understand it till I wrote this list. And that's why I wanted to share with you. Because, y'all are looking for genuine real life content. This is about as real as it gets, people. My life and what I've gone through and what I'm going through. Okay, so after the concert, very shortly after the concert, I think it was a couple days, I ended up with COVID. Matthew ended up with COVID. He nursed me back to health for a good week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. And then he ended up sicker. So I took care of him for a while. And then we both ended up with post-COVID, which was almost worse than the COVID, honestly, because it lingers. It wasn't so hot for me either.
No, I'm just saying.
But yeah, you had the worst of it. Matthew was really, really sick and could not shake it for the longest time. Which is interesting because I'm the one with the compromised immune system. So all I could attribute that to is up until that time, I was working out. I was eating super carefully. Even during COVID, I was meticulous about what I was putting in my body, how I was treating it, whatever. And that may have made a difference. I don't know. Matthew's younger than I am, so I thought he would kick it faster, but he just didn't. And I'm grateful to God that we both are over it now. But that was definitely a stressful time. If you didn't get COVID, good for you. I'm glad you didn't. It's not something I would wish on my worst enemy, honestly, unless they were like some kind of creepy serial killer or something. Then I might. No, I would never wish anything bad on somebody. I'm just playing. Okay. So we had bad COVID for about a month and a half altogether. And Matthew even longer than that. Then in the meanwhile, Maverick, my younger kitty, the little tiny one who's not so tiny anymore. Look at him up there. He's not tiny at all. He almost died on us. He was very, very, very sick. I had to go out and buy him kitten formula, and the vet did not tell me to do this. I prayed and asked God what to do to help him because we didn't have money for vets. We still don't. So I got him kitten formula and I gradually nursed him back to health. Thankfully, he did get better and he's doing much better now. That's a stressor. Your pet getting sick, your child getting sick, your husband, your wife, your friends, your loved ones. There's a stressor there. Then we started at a new church in one town. Okay. We had to meet all new people, get back into the fabric of things. If you haven't been in church for a long time, or like we were in a church that had just started up, we were there for like maybe 7 months, 9 months, I can't remember. And then the pastor one day said he was moving back to, I think it was Alabama, but I'm not sure, North Carolina, because his daughter was really sick with a disease and they had the treatment there for her and not where we are here because our treatments here are terrible. Our medical system's not good here, although it's improving, I have to say. So he moved back out of state and said he was just going to run the church over the internet for a while, and then he'd come back. Well, next thing we know, we get this message from him preaching saying he wasn't coming back. So our church folded, and that stressed Matthew and I both out. I'm still stressed out from it. I miss Upward Church. It was an awesome church, and it broke my heart that we closed down. I was so sad.
You're trying to do these things in the order they happen?
Kind of, sort of. Why?
Because that happened way before COVID.
Oh, well, whatever.
Like way.
Okay, Matthew said I got off track here. That happened a long time ago. But no, actually, I wasn't telling that as if it just happened. I was explaining that we hadn't been in church since that happened. So I'm not off. Okay. So anyway, we went to this new church in this town and had to get reaccustomed to being in church and meeting people and all that stuff. Next thing, and that's stressful in a good and a bad way, maybe, depending on how you look at it. The next thing I know, I'm back to work, and this might not be exactly in order. And they tell me, well, we were out to eat actually, and we saw somebody from work, and she said, she started talking about the place closing down. And I was like, what do you mean closing down? I thought she was joking. And I said, do you mean like this restaurant? It's called the Market Grill. She's like, no, not the Market Grill. The whole store is closing down. I'm like, what? You playing with me? You know, I didn't believe it. She's like, yeah, they didn't tell you yet. And I said, no. So I went to work like a couple days later. And sure enough, the manager says, so you guys are going to have to start thinking about where you want to be. So I chose one town at first, and then I prayed about it, and I didn't have a peace. So I decided to choose the other town where I have been working. So that meant I had to leave my job I had been at since, when was it? June of last year, and start at a brand new place. And me, being the risk taker that I am and the goofball that I am, decided, I'm not going to stay in dairy. I'm going to try something brand new. So I talked to the managers there that were kind of interviewing people as to where they wanted to go. And they said, well, where would you like to work? I said, I don't know what departments are available. And they mentioned the bakery. All you'd be doing is bagging bread. So I'm thinking, okay, bagging bread, how hard can that be? So I'm now starting a job at a new place at this point. Now, when I get there was way more than bagging bread. That now the way my mind works, I literally picture things, okay? So I'm picturing like Wonder Bread loaves and just putting it in bags with the little balloon colors on them. Yeah, there was none of that. First of all, it's a bakery. We don't sell Wonder Bread. We had to and have to slice bread like with a slicer. That was a stressor too, learning how to use the bread slicer without chopping my fingers off. Although, happily, the blades, when the bread comes through on this side, they're not sharp. The sharp blades are on the other side that the bread goes through. So I had to watch this bread come down and pick it up out of the slicer and shove it in bags and get ready for the next one real quick. Fun job. Very stressful. Scary. Did not want to do it at all when I went there. But one day they said, okay, those loaves need to be sliced. And they kind of showed me how to do it. And I caught on. And now it's a piece of cake. Not hard at all. So there's slicing of bread. There's boxing of cookies. And you learn eventually that there's a certain amount that goes in each container. And I mean, when you go shopping, you just look at that stuff and you're like, oh, isn't that pretty? And look how nice it's arranged. And, ooh, I want that. It looks so yummy. You have no idea, or I didn't anyway, the work that goes into making that stuff look so pretty in those packages. It's a lot of work. So there's stress right there. Okay. The next thing. Okay, so then we started going to a church, same church, different building, different town. Another stressor. I won't get into all the details that went into that, but that was where we went to the marriage conference and renewed our vows. Again, a happy stressor, but stress nonetheless. At the same time, or along the same lines, I started attending a Bible study online done by the pastor at that second church building. So that's a stressor. Again, a happy stressor. Nonetheless, a new thing, stress. At the same time, Amber and I decided we were going to start a Bible study. Actually, it was kind of right before that all started with that Bible study. So we started meeting and talking together, and Amber likes to talk, as you might know from me having her online before. And it's pretty much her talking at me a lot of times. But we have been studying. First, we went through the book of James. We finished that. Now we're doing 1 Peter together. Every Saturday morning, that's what we do. We have our time. So again, happy stressor, but stress because it's a new thing. Nonetheless, this is all happening within a span of 5 months. Okay. And it was like bing, 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 one thing after the other without me even realizing it was going on. So after that, or actually before that, in Christmas time, my daughter gives us the gift of paying off the rest of my house. So now I am a homeowner. Woohoo! Happy, happy. Stress, stress. Now I pay my own property taxes. I pay my own home expenses. All the stuff Carol was doing for me and helping me out with is gone. I have to do it all myself. So there's that stress. And of course, because I was stressed out, I decided to get a therapist. And I hadn't seen a therapist in quite a while. So I decided to go get one. Real nice girl in her 20s, whatever. Saw her one time, felt really promising. But as you know, from what I've said on other live streams, over time, when it was time for me to go back, I think I was sick or something happened or the weather was terrible and I was going to do the online therapy thing, the teletherapy, if you will. Well, my computer system didn't want to hook up to it. I only have a Chromebook and it's not like a typical laptop. So I couldn't hook up with her. So I called the place, told them I couldn't hook up. Oh, do you want her to call you? Yes, never called me. A few days later, I call the place back. They say, oh, well, she didn't call you? No, she didn't. Okay, well, we'll have her call you today. No call. This happened like 3 different times. Finally, when I called back, they said, oh, well, your therapist says you haven't been attending your appointments, so she's basically quitting you. Do you want to schedule with a new therapist? Not really. I kind of wanted that therapist to be faithful in calling me back. So there's stress. So I don't have a therapist right now. I got to get a new one, which means more adaptation to a new therapist. getting to know them. They have to ask me all the questions. I have to go through all the stories again. It's stressful. That's all stress. All right. Meanwhile, I pick up a new hobby, diamond painting. Fun. Love it. Stress. Something new. New brain cells have to be created. You're doing new motions that you haven't done before. Instead of painting with a brush, now you're using a little dabber to dab these little tiny stones on. Fun, but stressful. Nonetheless, positive stress, but stress. And of course, new eating plan, new fitness plan. I'm always starting those, but I've been at this one for a while now, and it's been extremely successful. So I'm sticking with it. So that's a little bit less stress because I'm staying with it. Then I minimalized my house, one room at a time. Went through and got rid of so much stuff, still getting rid of stuff. Reorganized everything, moved stuff around, got the new refrigerator. I forgot to write that one down. Yeah, new refrigerator, not new, but you know what I mean, new. Got that. More stress, moving things from one to the other, rearranging everything. I started minimalizing my refrigerator so everything slides out in containers and, in the freezer at least. So that's more stress. My favorite cat ran away the other day, Bobo. Took off. Don't know where he is. Put feelers out everywhere. I don't know what more I can do other than accept the fact that he's gone and maybe he has a new home. It breaks my heart. I want to cry every time I think about it. Bobo was my buddy, and, well, my relationship with Bobo. I can't even watch videos of us together. I start crying. So, yeah, that was majorly a negative stressor, obviously. We rehomed the guinea pigs, too, before that. That was stressful, but it was also a relief of stress because if anybody's ever had rodents for pets, they're a mess. They're a hot mess. They're wonderful. They're fun if they play with you and they'll let you hold them. But they are very, very messy. And it was making mess I could not keep up with. And I didn't have a vacuum. So everything had to be swept. And if you ever tried to sweep hay off of a carpet, well, you get my drift, more stress. So yes, giving them away was a stressor, but it was also a relief of stress at the same time. And they're in super good homes, all of them. So that made me happy. Let's see what else is next here. I started watching some new TV series, and that might seem like, well, that's not stressful. Yes, it is. Because the type of things I'm watching are dramas and some are comedies, but you're learning new characters, you're melding with these characters, you're becoming the characters. Whether you realize it or not, everything you watch, everything you take in with your eyes, you have to kind of become part of that fabric. So even though that's a fun thing and it's enjoyable, it's still a stressor. So I added that on there. I'm switching doctors because during COVID, I couldn't get the medicine to save my life, literally. Doctor refused to call it in, and a friend of mine provided it for me, thankfully. She had some. And so that was a stressor. I almost died, and I didn't have a doctor that was willing to save my life. So switching doctors, not going back to that one. Definitely a stressor. Put me on a waiting list for many months. And now I'm coming up to the top of the waiting list, and I'm finally going to get a new doctor. Positive, happy thing, but still a stressor. Switching therapist, I already told you. I started paying my bills. Yeah, that's stressful. Just a few bucks here and there, but I decided it's time to just start paying whoever I owe. And if they're going to keep tacking on more money, I'm just going to tell them it's going to be that much longer till I can pay you. I might be paying you the rest of my life. The more you put on more money that I owe you, the longer it's going to be till you get your full payment. So that's just how it is. I don't make tons of money. So they're going to get what they get. And I'll make little payments every single time I can. And that's how it's going to be. But again, that's a stress. Paying bills is stressful for anybody anyway. Okay. Did you say 45 we have to be up there?
Yeah.
It's 40 now.
10:45.
Oh, good. Perfect. Less stress for me. I thought I had to be there at 9:45. And it's 9:40 now.
You have to be at Target by then, so it won't matter.
Okay. That's fine.
By 9:45.
Okay. I'm starting reading a new journal with my hubby. It's called I Know the Plans. It's a Bible journal. Oh, it got wet. That's not cool. Anyway, that's a stressor. Our journal got wet. No, it's okay.
Yeah, the speaker got wet too.
Hopefully it still works.
I haven't tried it.
Okay, anyhow. So it's called I Know the Plans. It's a morning and evening devotional. We're going to start reading together. Happy thing, but stressor. Something new to adapt the brain cells to. When you do anything new, your brain has to adapt to it. Especially if you start a new job, you have to learn new ways of doing things. You have to train your brain to know what bags to put things in, what shelves things go on. That's all stressful for your brain. Next thing. We got our taxes done. Woohoo! Positive, but stressful. Got to gather up all the papers. Make sure you have everything, especially because we do like a discount tax thing because we're low income. So we had to make sure we had all our paperwork. Otherwise, they send you home and say, well, we don't know when we're going to be able to get you in again. So you're just going to have to drop off your paperwork. We had everything. We had been saving everything up. I had a folder designed of his and hers. So every time we got our W-2 forms, they got in each pocket of the folder. So when I went in there, that lady was like, whoa, you are on it. Yes. So less stress for me in the end because I started way back when saying every time we get a W-2 or a 1099 or whatever, it goes, mine go in this pocket, yours go in this pocket. Every time we got any kind of paperwork regarding taxes, it all went in my accordion folder in the proper area. So less stress overall, but taxes are stressful. So we got that done, got money back, don't have to pay any in. Woo, woo, woo. We were happy about that. Okay. I bought some new items and added them to my wardrobe yesterday. I won't tell you what they are. You'll figure it out eventually. Anyway, that's stressful, but a positive stress, and yet nonetheless, it's changing my appearance a bit. So that is a stressor, a positive stressor, but a stressor. And I'm starting clogging classes soon. So I'll show you guys my old clogging shoes. Old clogging shoes. So here's what the shoe looks like. These are white ones. The ones I'm getting a pair of white and a pair of black shoes. And they have taps on them. Now you might say, well, those are just tap shoes. They are not just tap shoes. These are clogging shoes. This is a special kind of tap. If you see, it hangs off the shoe on the front and on the bottom. On the back, whatever. There's a tap underneath the tap right here. This is a tap here. And then this tap goes on top and they jiggle like that. Because in tap dancing, I'll give you a little demo here. Shuffle, ball, change. Okay. So shuffle. And the back foot goes ball and the front one goes change or change, whatever. With clogging, it's double step, stomp, stomp. I'm sorry. Matthew's getting a headache from my tapping on the table. Anywho, that is the difference. They are two different, completely different type of taps on the shoes. And sometimes different style of tap shoes. Although cloggers can wear the buckle shoes too. But I got a couple pairs of clogging shoes coming my way that I got on Facebook Marketplace. I'm excited. I hope they fit my feet. So that's stressful, wondering if they're going to fit. Because if they don't, then I have to send them back and order more. And that's a stressor. I'm going to be taking clogging classes again. Turns out it's the same exact teacher that taught them years ago in my community. So I'm excited. Trying to figure out which bus I'm taking there is a stressor because it's usually more than one bus, sometimes up to 3 or 4 buses to get places around here. Thankful for the bus system because I know a lot of y'all wish you had bus systems and you don't. So you have to have vehicles or you go nowhere. I'm thankful I don't live in that situation because this situation would never have worked if I lived like that, where I had to have a car to go places. Because there have been too many times I haven't had a car. I have had to ride my bike. I've had to take a bus. I've had to walk. So, and I know what it's like where some of y'all live because my mentor lives in Ohio and she literally has to drive everywhere. She cannot go to a corner store. There is no corner store. She lives up in the hills of Ohio. She has to literally hop in her vehicle to drive anywhere. And then you have to gather up everything you want for the whole month or whatever, because who knows when you're going to get back down into town. Yeah, I don't live like that. I'm thankful I don't, because there's no way I could. There's no way I could have survived that. And I am a survivalist, very much so, and an overcomer, but no, not this situation, not this house and the floods, and that wouldn't have happened. So anyway, all of that stuff happened in the span of about 5 or 6 months. And I'm wondering why. Oh my gosh, I feel so overwhelmed. I'm so stressed out. I'm so tired. And my brain just feels like it's going in so many different directions. And there's something else happening that I'm not going to get into, but another stressor in my life coming up. That's going to be a positive stressor, but nonetheless, more adaptation, more learning new things and such. So if you're wondering why you're stressed, sit down and make yourself a list and figure out what on earth has been going on in your life for about the last 6 months. Maybe it's kind of like my life. I don't know. Anyhow, that's all I wanted to say on that. I just wanted to share a little bit of what's been going on in my life and explain to you why I've just been overwhelmed to the point of unbelief lately. But things are not bad other than Bobo running away. That's very bad and very sad. Hey, Jeff, I enjoyed your live stream this morning. Not sure who you were talking about, but it was interesting. I'm glad that you don't feel that other people, how other people see people is going to reflect on you or come back at you as being a target of liking that person or tolerating that person. Because I'm the same way. I've had many people in the past, I was telling Matthew this morning, that have said, oh, I don't want to be your friend because if I like you, bad things happen and people turn against you because they don't like me. I used to just kind of poo-poo it and say, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to not be your friend because something bad might happen to me. First of all, I'm not under a curse. The undeserved curse does not alight. It can't. So try as they might, if people come against you and you are close to God, that curse is not going to come on you. That's just how it works. Anywho, hi Sue, how is it going with you? Anyhow, yeah, all is well here. There's not really anything, majorly bad happening. Just a lot of stressors, positive and negative, to deal with in life. A lot of adapting needing to be done. A lot of changes. Go eat your precious lunch. You're funny, Sue. I did order another diamond painting. I told my husband he cannot look. Hopefully he didn't already.
I know what the subject of it is.
Oh.
But I don't know what the picture means.
Okay, good. Yeah. Because it's going to be a picture, a real picture of something that I don't want him to know about because it's a gift for him.
Hopefully the rest of my gifts comes.
And this one is going to hang in our house when I'm done with it. Hi, Sumi. Oh my gosh. How are you? I didn't even know y'all were all moderators. You got the wrenches. That's fine. I don't mind. I can always use moderators. Because sometimes the meanie bobinis come in here and try to start baloney that doesn't even make sense. Just don't block anybody if they're just chatting, and saying ridiculous stuff. But if they say mean stuff, you have my permission to block them like that, lickety split. Go for it. That will not bother me in any way, shape, or form. I'm doing okay, Sue. Doing okay. Feeling much better from the post-COVID and the COVID. Back at work and lots of changes, lots of growing to do and things like that. So all is well, but except for my cat running away. I'm doing good. That's really, you're going to hear me say that a lot until I'm healed. And it's going to take a while for me to get past that. I was very close to Bobo. I mean, that cat was amazing. The way he would lay down and just kind of trill. He didn't even meow. He just did this type of thing. And he would lay down in my arms and try to reach backwards to get Matthew's attention. It was kind of cute. I'm going to miss that. I already do miss him. We love our other cats, but Bobo was special. He had something special about him. But as somebody said on one of the lost pets thing, we don't. Oh, he left on Matthew's birthday on the 27th. As somebody said in the lost pet thing, well, sadly, if he wasn't neutered, it's that time of year. So he probably went to propagate the species somewhere, and we don't know where. We never got a chance to get him neutered. We really didn't want to neuter our cats at first, but if he came back now, I would definitely neuter him, as much as I think it's cruel. Or at least I would get a chip, most likely get him chipped. So if he wandered away, they could, find out where he was. But we didn't even get him chipped yet. We were sick. We were sick with COVID when he was, growing from a kitten into an adult cat. And then we didn't have a vehicle, so Sue says he'll come back. Well, he will unless somebody took him in, and he's that friendly that somebody probably could. But I have alerts everywhere on every kind of lost pets thing I can find, that if they find him, they can let us know. And then there's these cruel scams going on right now. This was a stressor too yesterday. Somebody texted me and said, I found your Bobo. And I'm like, where is he? Can I pick him up? How's he doing? Can you send me a picture? No answer. Finally, after I did all my errands for the rest of the afternoon, my husband gets a message because he had my phone. And the guy's like, well, I need to send you this code from Google. Oh, yeah, I know, Evelyn. All kinds of stuff all kinds of codes from Google or something. We had to send him a code in order to find out where our cat was. And so I looked it up, and it's a scam. He never sprayed though, Evelyn. He never sprayed in the house. But he definitely was trying to do things with his brother. So we saw that kind of mating behavior. And we would have at least gotten him chipped, if not neutered also, in order to prevent this from happening. But it was too late. He's gone, and I don't know if he'll come back or not. I don't know where he is. So Sue says, happy belated birthday, honey. Yeah, they're scamming a lot of people on the missing pet sites. So those of you that might be missing a pet, possibly now or in the future, if anybody writes you and says they want you to send a Google code to them, just ignore them, block them, whatever, because people are nasty and mean like that. So yeah, that's pretty cruel, and that was stressful to me. My heart is beyond broken. I feel like there's a big, huge, gaping hole in my heart, honestly. When you have mental problems, like mental illness, mental deficits, whatever you want to call them, and you have a pet that you become close to, it's like a therapy animal, even if it's not officially a therapy animal. It's comforting to have that particular pet. I'm kind of trying to establish that with Maverick now. Maverick is a different personality, though. It's just different with each animal. He does fit his name. He's like a wild stallion. Yeah. He's not a bonder. I mean, he will to an extent, but not like Bobo did. Sue is sure he will come back. Well, I pray you're right, Sue. I pray you're right. You're not the first person that said he'll be back. It's been a couple days now, so I don't know. When I thought Carmine was coming back, Carmine did try to come back and got ran over by a car and killed. So I'm hoping Bobo is smarter than that.
There were 2 or 3 times before that he came back.
Well, yeah, that's true. And we had him for a while. And he was neutered. Carmine was neutered. And he still went wandering. We don't know why. Wandering cats typically stay within a 3-mile perimeter, Evelyn said. Yeah, they have their beat that they do. Now, see, I didn't know Bobo had established a beat around the neighborhood because he always stuck real close to home. Like he'd either be in the shed or next door or in our backyard. He's never gone this far and stayed away that long. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Anywho, that made me sad. So, yeah. So we're going uptown. We got some errands to run today. Matthew's got a doctor appointment, and I need to find out if I'm on their list closer to the top yet for my doctor's appointments. So that's what we're doing today. Among other things, I don't know what, but we got a little bit of a busy day today. And I just wanted to pop on and kind of share a little bit of what my life has been like recently and why I feel overwhelmed. We do have a conference coming up, a prophetic conference that we are volunteering for. That was our way of being able to get into the conference for free, because otherwise it was like $50. No, $30 per person. Something like that. I don't know. It was expensive. Yes, I know to keep an eye out at night for sure. When he comes back, tell him he's grounded. Yeah. Matthew put a litter box out there for him. They say to put a litter box, an article of clothing, all kinds of crazy stuff I won't get into, which is absolutely insane. But look up how to get your lost cat back. There are some interesting things out there about it. And we've tried some of those things. So we'll see how that all works out in the end. I do pray that he comes back and that he's not injured and that he's safe out there, or that some loving family took him in and not some creep that would harm him in any way, shape, or form. We have a lot of really icky, creepy people in the area that do terrible things to animals, and that's why I'm really stressed out. So, unfortunately, living right in our neighborhood, there are some of these creepy people. So hopefully he didn't wander that direction, and maybe some safe shelter picked him up. I'm still looking in the shelter pictures to see if I see him or not. So yeah. Anywho. That's about it for me. What else is going on here? Let's see. Oh, wow. Did you get him back, Evelyn? Or did you just let him run and say, oh, well, he's a wild creature of the night? You know, honestly, my thoughts, I have mixed feelings. We have domesticated animals, okay? We as human beings. Ultimately, animals started out undomesticated. They were wild. Oh, okay, Evelyn. So we domesticated them, but I believe the animal's nature is to be free. It's spelled this way. Beau. It's French. It means beautiful. And he definitely is, or was, whatever. So the mixed feelings are, I loved him as a pet. I raised him as a pet. We have domesticated animals as humans, and we get close to those animals and we form bonds with those animals. And if we are people that let them indoors and outdoors, like I am, we believe that they have a right to experience the outdoors, you know, within parameters and whatever. We try to protect them from fleas and ticks, and ourselves from fleas and ticks and such, the elements of outside. But my theory is, if he ran away and just is exploring the outdoors, he's a wild creature at heart. He's probably going to do that. I don't want to get anybody's cat pregnant, obviously. So if I can get him back, we're going to take care of that little issue. But ultimately, he's a wild creature and he belongs to God first. So what happens to him is in God's hands, ultimately. There's nothing I can do either way other than just keep trying to find him and keep praying him home until I know otherwise. Like I did with Carmine. Until I knew that Carmine had been killed, I believed he was coming home. And he was coming home. He was trying to come home. So you have Bella, Beau, Nanny, and all their names mean beautiful, handsome in different languages. And the star of the show, Mr. Big Paws. Aw. Cool. Thank you for hiding that person. They were blocked. So it says you hit a user I had blocked. Mask Spoofer was on it too. She timed him out for 300 seconds. So yeah, Riff Raff, you ain't going to make it long in here. You're just not. My mods are on it. I have really good mods. Once again, thank you, y'all, for doing that for me. I appreciate it. So I can talk freely in my own room. And it's kind of like, I've said this before, it's like if somebody comes into your church and just starts screaming at the top of their lungs and dancing around and acting crazy, and I don't mean like church dancing, I mean like the pastor's preaching and in comes this person and acts the fool, like the extreme fool. They're probably going to escort them to the back of the church and probably out of the building. And if they're doing anything harmful, they will probably call the authorities on them. So, there you go. That's how my room runs. Kind of like that church or meeting where someone comes in and tries to distract and disrupt. And bam, they're gone. Just how it's going to be. Yeah. I know people hate rules, but I established rules in this room a long time ago, and people bucked and kicked and fought and made videos against me, and the rules have remained, except they've been condensed down to a few instead of like this big long list of 10 or 20. Thank you, Sue. I really appreciate it. And as soon as he comes back, I will go live and I'll make a video with him and me for sure. And I'll thank you for all your prayers and good thoughts my way. You had a possessed woman appear at your church once. She stood up and started. Oh, yeah, I've seen that too. Yep. Yeah, those are fun. Too bad there's no beeper. You beep, 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 beep. You'd be beeping out everything they say. Oh, everyone was removed and they prayed the demon out of her. Yep. I've seen that. Although in my case, the church I had gone, I was visiting a church actually. They escorted the guy to the side of the church and did the deliverance there on him. And the lady, same thing. I think they took her to the back in a different church. Yeah, because they come in and try to distract and get all eyes on them. And because devils and demons like to act up and act the fool. They like attention. Happy belated birthday, Matt. Yes, happy birthday, Matt. Do you want to show him any of your stuff or no?
Not until I get the rest of it.
Okay. When he gets the rest of his items, he's going to show off his items that he got for his birthday. He bought himself some birthday gifts. I bought myself some gifts as well. We both usually take a portion of our tax money, small portion, and go shopping because we busted our butts to earn that money. So we're going to go out and spend some of it and pay bills with the rest. That's just how we do. Do you want to answer that, Spoof? Your parents were the ministers, so you probably could answer that better than I can. I mean, I can take a shot at it here, take a go at it. There just is a difference. And if we don't know the difference, we assume it's demonic, and then if it doesn't go, then we assume it's psychosis. Yes, we do. Oh yeah. Well, Evelyn, there is a difference. Those of us trained as deliverance ministers don't always know the difference, so we just pray over people anyway. But there are times when you can tell the difference. But like I said, Spoofer could probably answer that better than I can. She was pretty much raised up around it. I was not. I only got into deliverance ministry back in 1996, I think. There you go. So it's stranger things than psychosis, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that, Evelyn, honestly. When you grow up in a church or you enter a church and we're there for years where you see deliverances happen, you just learn, oh, that's a demon, that's a devil. We just know. Or maybe we don't know, but yeah, I had a woman fall to the ground and slither like a snake across my office room floor back when I was married in my first marriage and grabbed my ankle, and I began praying the demon out of her. The problem was her mother was a Satanist, so she invited demons into their life, and she went back home and was a mess again. Yeah. Yeah, it's different. A human body can't slither unless it's demonized. That's true, spoof. It's way different than just somebody like maybe doing the wave on the floor, like a dance move. It's different. I can't explain it. If you haven't seen it, you wouldn't really understand. But yeah, I know people think we're the crazy ones. Well, go into a church that practices deliverance and see what you see. Then you'll know that we're not lying to you and that this stuff really happens and it's real. So I don't care. Call me crazy. It doesn't matter to me because honestly, I can't deny what I've seen and experienced. Like I tell people about how I laid hands on a kid with a group of people and his leg grew. And people argue and say, oh, well, that was trickery or that was. No, it really wasn't. The kid had a medical diagnosis of one leg being shorter than the other. And when he came in, he was waddling. When he left, he was running around the block, screaming and yelling, oh my God, I'm healed. I can walk. I can walk. My leg's healed. You can't deny something like that. And I was only like 16 when it happened. So I didn't even have, you know, I hadn't had much life experience to really deny something like that or find it a trick. Oh, yeah, Evelyn. And sometimes when they do like really aggressive deliverances on people that are not demon possessed, that have psychosis, they can definitely do more harm than good. That's why deliverance ministry has changed over the years. When they're doing deliverance on a child, um, they're very careful on how they go about it usually. I mean, if they're legit deliverance ministries. And they make sure that, there's no medical diagnosis, mental diagnosis first. So, yeah. I'm glad you're here, Spoofer, because I would rather people get firsthand knowledge from somebody that grew up around this kind of thing, than just, oh, that's just a speller. She's delusional. She's making stuff up. No, I'm not. But, now you can hear it from more than me. I'm so glad you're here, Spoof. Honestly, I've been trying to get some word of faith people to come in here and join my channel and talk about kind of our beliefs and stuff and some of the things we've experienced. That way, it's not just old dispeller sitting here saying stuff, because I've lost a lot of credibility for various reasons with some people on here. And I would rather have people that are like-minded come on and talk and say the things that I've been trying to say, because maybe people will get it that it's legit and it's not just me making stuff up. Then, of course, there's people of other persuasions and beliefs that don't believe that way, and that's fine. If you want to pray and say, God, if it be your will to deliver this person, or help us to accept that they're just having these problems, go ahead and pray that way. I'm not going to. I'm going to pray the word, because the word is truth and the truth will set you free. So that's just me, and that's how I will always be. I'm not a conservative, haven't been for years. So interesting. I got a prophetic message. Do not become paralyzed and hopeless. Do not fear that this is the end. Do not imagine goodness leaving. I reign. I am here. I am always here. That was timely. Not that I feared it was the end, but you love that I have that faith. Thank you, Evelyn. Well, you know what? As I always say, consider the alternative. I could just be miserable and curl up and say, I don't want to do anything. I'm just giving up. And there's been times I've felt like that. Thankfully, my husband's been there for those times. Your mom has been choked over the phone by a demon. Oh, I've been choked by demons. I went through personal deliverance, so I get it. Especially if you're praising God when they're praying over you, they'll try to choke you so you can't. Yeah, our weather hasn't been that bad, so we've had a lot of wind. That's really what we're dealing with. Not now, but the last few days we've had like very fierce winds. I know one day it was like 25 miles an hour winds, and that was rough. But yeah, even the cats didn't want to stay outside during that. But now it's kind of calmed down. There's no winds. Do you happen to know where my bag of seeds went? Is it around? Oh, hang on, guys. I'm going to show you something I bought.
On the two thingy, the two-wheeler thing or whatever.
Thank you. I see one. Okay. show you some stuff I bought. One thing I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to show you these. So I have decided, oh, here's another stressor, another positive stressor. I'm going to start a garden. I'm going to try to start a garden. I think I need to buy a rake and a hoe maybe for the garden. But these are Burpee Pollinator Wildflower Mix to grow all kinds of really pretty flowers outside. I can't wait. I decided this year I was having a garden, and I'm going to do my best to try one. And I may not know what the flip I'm doing, and I probably don't. Maybe nothing will grow. Maybe something will grow. I don't know. This is mine and Matthew's favorite fruit, watermelon. Yes, and if anybody knows how to grow a garden, I definitely want to talk to you because you can help walk me through this mess. Because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to read the thing on the back and try to do it. And hope I don't have a big flood that floods everything out and, drowns everything. Or insects that bother my garden. Lettuce. This is Burpee Bib lettuce. Can make sandwiches out of that when it's fully grown. Take the big leaves and put tuna spread on it and stuff. Baby's breath. I've been looking for artificial baby's breath just to have like a little flower arrangement for my Shabbat time. But I thought, why not just grow some? Watch out for the birds with the cats. Oh, I know. My cats do kill birds every once in a while. That's true. Columbine. These are really pretty. These are Harlequin colored Columbine. And I know you can't really see the colors over the internet. Sorry for my chipped nail polish. That's another thing I need to do is paint my nails again. Chinese forget-me-nots. They're little dainty little blue flowers. I can't wait to paint them. Sure. To plant them. Well, I might paint them someday. Who knows? Carrots. I only grabbed a few of the vegetables because I wanted to grab mostly the root vegetables. That would be easier because it's my first time having like an actual full garden. And then we got cucumbers. They're called salad slicer cucumbers. You grew 3 pumpkins a few years ago. Ooh, cool. We have clay soil, so I'm told that clay soil is good because I guess I don't know if it holds the water or repels the water or whatever, but it's pretty good to grow things, and if you know what you're doing. Although back when I lived in a place called Muscatine, oh my gosh, stuff thrives there like crazy. I had some amazing gardens with my ex-husband back in Muscatine. Aw. Yeah, I guess that can happen. Pumpkins in Hawaii, huh? Yeah, I don't know if that's the right climate for the pumpkins. Thanks, Sue. Even if I have a couple flowers come up, I'm happy. I get excited about new life and new growth and stuff, so it will be fun. That's what I wanted to do with my money is start gardening again, and I'm going to do a shout out to Mommy Mars because she's the one that actually sent me my first plants and taught me that I actually could grow something for a while. And those plants grew a long time. What did they grow? Like a year and a half, maybe? Yeah, they were cactus type things. And they grew for quite a while. And then it just got too cold here. We live in a very cold climate. So everything died. All my cactuses died. And then I transplanted some and they died when I transplanted them. So I probably should have left them alone. But that's how you learn, making mistakes. Say hi, Mav. This is Mav. Yeah, Maverick. He's my buddy too, aren't you, Mavie? Mavie's always been my buddy anyway because he almost died on me and I got him to live, didn't I? God and we fed him some kitty formula. Yes, many verses in the Bible come to life when you garden. That's true. Faith is tiny as a mustard seed. Yes. The parable of the sower. You reap what you sow. Yeah. See, hi, Maverick. See, my name is Maverick. I'm kind of a cuddler. I'm just different than my brother was and is. Clipping the vines that don't bear fruit. Yep. That's true. Good one, Evelyn. Little bit of Bible talk here today, y'all. I am going to have to go shortly, though, because it is 10:15 and we got to walk uptown. So to catch our bus to go do our little errands we need to do. But I really appreciate y'all coming in today and hanging out with me and listening to my little list of stressors and understanding a little bit why, if I seem a little bit out of it and overwhelmed, that is why. A lot of the stuff going down, good, bad, and otherwise. So, and other things happening that I just can't discuss right now in good company, but maybe someday. All right. So, I inspired you to garden. Good, Evelyn. We need to talk and you can walk me through it because I have no clue what I'm doing. And maybe you can give me some pointers. I'm sure I probably need to buy some soil and stuff to add to my soil, or I don't know. Everything is done by bus now, so it's kind of tricky. Yeah, very good to see you again, Sue. I'm glad you're around. I'm glad you came back, and I'm very blessed that you came into my room today. Y'all have a great day. And, I just find it really interesting that people try to paint me as something I'm not, like some kind of awful person that does bad things to people, because I'm really absolutely the opposite. I love beauty. I love positivity. I love truth. I love all things good. So, and I'm really glad I'm back to myself again. Spoof, thank you for your input today. Evelyn, thanks for your input. Love you all. Good to see you, and I will see you soon. Be blessed. Shalom.